Hey guys, this is João Parezuti. This is Zero to Stoic. It's my journey becoming Stoic and trying to share a bit of what I learned. I don't know shit. I'm 21. I have no life experience, but I feel like after I get to wisdom and after I get to success, I wanna see my journey. So that's why I'm doing this series. So today I wanna talk about wisdom, and I wanna talk about a concept I've been thinking about. And this concept is that everything on the internet is kind of false. I mean, not false, and I'm not talking about, of course, if you see information on physics and math, it's going to be real, but I'm talking specifically about self help and about philosophy and about advice. And I've been reading self help for like the past 2, 3 years, and a lot of books help me a lot. Like books on communication and books on like that gives you actually practical advice that you can reiterate and learn from, and that you can like general advice that you can apply to your life. But like a lot of people in the internet, like Ryan Holiday, he just tells you some words and he's like, "Oh, do this or don't do this, black or white." Right? It says like, "Oh, don't go to parties. Oh, don't drink. Oh, don't waste your time." But first of all, what I started realizing is that a lot of this advice is contradictory. So a lot of books have opposing advice, and most are the books that are self-help. So if something has an objective truth, like one way of living your life, there wouldn't be contradictory advice. And I started realizing that. Also, a lot of books repeat themselves and say stuff that don't actually work, that comes from the author like experience maybe or what he read. And a lot of the advice we follow, for example, Alex Hormozy, I love the guy. But a lot of his advice is from his real life and how he worked. Everyone has different genetics, everyone works different. And if you see different people have different life advice, different people have a different meaning. I like the gym a lot. And one good analogy is that in the gym, like it's hard to find research because there's not a lot of research. And you cannot really follow advice after you get like to advanced level. You need to like personalize the training for yourself. I think that's a good way of seeing stuff. You need to personalize the advice for yourself because everyone has different lives, everyone has different genetics, everyone has a different life experience. You're not equal to everyone. And yeah, the advice is way too general and way too broad to work for your specific goals. Also, if you could get successful or famous just by following a rule book, everyone would do it, right? So it doesn't really make sense. Second, these people they want to keep selling books, they want to keep getting views, they want to keep you in the self-help culture or in the self-improvement culture. So they'll keep telling you the same stuff that the popular book said. And most of the good advice has been given already, right? And you can just go on Goodreads and get the top 10 self-help books, and that will give you like 80% of the results, right? That's a rule. Like you get 80% of your results from 20% of your efforts. And after that, it's just a money grab scheme, right? And after reading some self-help books and most science-based stuff, I think, right? I may be wrong. Like, I know, I just realized I had a stranger in the internet giving you advice about not listening to the advice on the internet. But this is not advice, okay? I'm not giving any advice. I don't know shit. It's just me talking about some of my thoughts. Yeah, I feel like that top 10 books and then trying to read more about the word and trying to get more knowledge about the word and then trying to experience stuff for yourself and find truth from that. My third point is that something Socrates said. Wisdom cannot be learned, right? If wisdom was learned, everyone would know it. But wisdom, of course, you can have teachers that teach you through, like the Greeks did before, right? The Stoics would have a teacher that would teach you and show you how he lives. Wisdom cannot be learned. It needs to be experienced. Like you can hear something 10,000 times. If you don't actually experience or see someone close to you experiencing, you're not actually going to learn from it. My theory is that we have these mirror neurons that they learn from seeing, they learn from doing, and some stuff you can only learn if you actually do it. That's why it's so important to go out there and experience. And that's why the Stoicism is such a better philosophy than like Buddhism. Not that Buddhism is bad, but you actually have to go experience before you draw conclusions, right? Like Buddha was a prince before he realized all the money was useless, but not useless, but like he learned that his happiness would come from not desiring instead of desiring everything. And I have two stories to tell you. Yeah. I should have told them in the beginning of the video, but I don't really care. These are just my thoughts. I don't have a script. So, first one is by Socrates, right? Um, Socrates was in Greece, and he was trying to find a wise man apart from himself, because the oracle told him he was the wisest man in all of Athens, and he was like, "No, why not? That's fucking bullshit." I mean, it was his friend that told him, but he thought it was bullshit because he didn't think he was wise, because he was always curious about everything. So he goes asking a lot of people, a lot of people. One of the guys that he asks is a self-help guy, basically like a self-help maniac from the Greeks, like knowledge, right? And he had like read like 500, 600 books, and still he couldn't define what happiness or wisdom or justice or courage was, because he didn't actually live it. If you memorize stuff, you're not actually learning. Like I saw the Naval podcast, and he says like the large language models don't learn anything; they're just memorizing, right? If you memorize math, you don't actually understand. When you memorize something, you don't actually understand. Feynman said the same thing. If you actually understand something intrinsically, you can explain simple concepts. Okay? So Socrates said wisdom couldn't be learned because of that guy. I don't know if it was just because of that guy. I may be saying shit. This is information is coming from the book Think Like Socrates, which is really good. I love that author so much. And another related story is from Marcus Aurelius. He was a Stoic, right? Ever since, like, he never said he was Stoic, but he's followed most of the Stoicism, and he's one of my role models. The guy was fucking cool as fuck. My next video tomorrow, day 3, I'm probably just going to talk about him. But I have so many ideas to talk. This is so nice. Okay. So Marcus, he had a lot of teachers, and there was a difference between philosophers and rhetoricists. I don't know how to say in English, but basically the guys who taught rhetoric. The guys who taught rhetoric were like self-help gurus. They would say phrases that were catchy, and like do this and do this, like don't go to parties, walk in, grind off, like stuff like that. Like culture that attracts a lot of people, that gives you that dopamine. Like I love Goggins, but he say like, um, carry the fucking bows and just do it. Like now, I just got a blank mind. Like, what the fuck? I freaking love. Who's going to carry boats? Um, yeah. So there's a lot of like phrases like work, outwork everyone, or like Jordan Peterson saying like become the monster, and they're like in this Instagram reels. I used to be addicted to them, and the rhetoricists were the guys who were saying this shit, and they were teaching you how to influence people. And Marcus would say that during the classes they would teach, but they wouldn't actually leave their wisdom. So it was kind of fake, right? Because they didn't leave it like it. But then Marcus found someone that Rufus, something Rufus, and he actually lived through his wisdom. And also, Marcus' stepdad, which was one of the emperors, also lived his wisdom. And when someone lives their wisdom, it's like a different aura. Like Epictetus said, when you start living, I don't know if this was Epictetus, Marcus, or Seneca, but when you start living your virtues, everyone respects you, right? You get like some of I have a friend that like he lives through virtues and he's very, very on it. And like he has an aura, right? Like people sense it because he's so self-confident and he's so like sure of himself because he can live with the philosophy. That's crazy. Like like you cannot explain it. Like it's something that you need to experience it. And Marcus wouldn't follow the rhetorics, and he wanted to be a philosopher because he thinks you need to live in philosophy, not just say. That's why I think philosophy is such a good thing, and I don't think the size of philosophy and the philosophy I'm talking about are different. Philosophy needs to be lived, right? And the thing about philosophy is that it's different from from phrases or motivational phrases or like motivation speakers. Wait, let me check if I'm recording because okay, I'm very traumatized because yesterday I was recording and it stopped recording so many times, and I started going and thinking, yeah. So what are we doing? On motivational speakers. The thing about what they talk to is very, very general. And you cannot apply that to your own life. And even if you can, you're not going to because it's too broad. It's just concept in your mind. You didn't actually learn it. Philosophy is different. Philosophy, you have the six virtues, and then you have a lot of advice that derives from the six virtues. But you can trace not the six virtues, the main virtues, right? But you can trace everything to these virtues, and you can trace everything to the main virtue, which is wisdom, that I define as naval Ravikant defines as thinking in the long term. So if you put that as your defining heuristic, It's an optimization. I said that in the previous video, but it's an optimization for hard decisions. You can base all your decisions on one thing, and then long-term planning that is going to make you happier. Because pleasures in the short term, they're going to be good, but in the long term, they're going to make you suffer more. So by following a simple heuristic, you're going to have more success, you're going to be more happy, so many stuff. And of course, there's many concepts that are general. There's this concept of anti-fragile, or concepts that not only resist adverse situations but thrive in adverse situations. And concepts like philosophy are anti-fragile, but because of that, they are hard. You need to actually learn it, and you need to actually put the effort in, and that's why it gets really hard. Another thing about not believing what self-help gurus or millionaires tell you, that most millionaires will tell you what they do right now, but they don't tell you how they get there, right? Like we don't know actually what they were doing when they were like actually getting to the millionaire, because they don't record videos at that time. They're not famous. That's one of the reasons I'm recording this series. If I ever successful, that I believe I'm going to be, that's one of the beliefs that I think successful is living virtues and living your values and achieving freedom and helping human nature. Like I feel like you can achieve great things by getting to money, and money is not the ends, but the means to an end, right? To help other people and to create something significant for the world. But yeah, television again. So yeah, most of these millionaires, they're talking stuff that they like. They're saying like, "Oh, money is useless. Oh, money is one bringing your happiness," but they don't live it. Like they are. Sorry, I heard somebody said I got distracted. They actually they are actually saying stuff that they're doing right now, not they're doing when they grind. So, and another reason is that all these self-help gurus, they don't show you the bad side of things. They only show you the good side. Mentors are important because they also show how they go with the bad side. And most of life is not the good stuff, but the bad stuff. And the hard stuff is not the good part, but the bad. And you don't see that with gurus or Instagram. And that's the problem with internet. Everyone's always showing their good side. They're not being vulnerable. They're not showing their own efforts. They're not showing their own failures and everything. Like maybe people don't fail, but like the moment you keep comparing yourself to other people, you already failed. Because first of all, genetic makeup. Second of all, your situation. There's so much different stuff. You can never compare yourself to other people. Never, never, never. And there's also the luck factor. There's this really great video about from Veritas. I love this. It's a science channel that says that like even 5% of luck can change a lot. And I'm not saying luck determines everything, but you cannot see that. That's an invisible pattern that you cannot see. So you can never, never know how people got successful. So here their advice is very, very hard. So my idea is not to follow people advice, but follow the opposite. What Naval says is when you see someone failing, like you see someone robbing or you see someone really bad, like that makes you much more of an effect than seeing someone make it, right? I think that's an evolution thing, because you need to learn from. It's more important to learn from mistakes than to learn from wins, basically, because mistakes can kill you. So when you see someone make a mistake, you can definitely see that's not the life you want, right? And this connects to something today. Today I was in the market and there was this woman fucking screaming and angry, and it was such an ugly thing, right? I looked at that and it was like it was an animal, like the emotion gets ahead of you, and you keep feeding the emotion and it controls you, and you're not thinking. Like it destroys all that makes you human, right? Which is your rationality. And it was ugly, and I was like, I'd never want to feel an emotion like that. And I meditate. Like today, I meditated 30 minutes. It was great. I normally don't meditate that long, and it was really very, very good. And I'm very far away from getting becoming mindfulness, but reverse role models are great. Like it's not like I want to live this life, because you're never going to be able to do that. Maybe you will, but it's about me. Fear is such a motivation. Fear is one of the biggest motivations to get into flow and to stay in a path. There's a research where they encourage rats with fear and they encourage rats with dopamine, and the rats with fear also get more driving, right? Always more driving. Another thing I was thinking about that connects connects with all of this is that if you want to do it, if you want to do something, you've actually had the desire to do it, you just do it. That's how the humans do. Like when I did my bodybuilding prep, okay, I failed after 2 months and I felt really bad about it. But I still, the first 2 months was easy. Like I was just on it, I was just grinding, and I didn't even think about it. I just did it. Everything I really wanted to do, I just did it. So maybe, just maybe, You need to find something that you really want to do and just do it. And when you actually find that thing, you stick. That's why in those decisions, like I'm probably like never going to get views, but it's something cool, right? I can talk with myself and I can elaborate my thoughts, and for me it's good because I can explain stuff. And yeah, so all these reasons are reasons for me that I think self help is bullshit, and I think maybe a lot of gurus are bullshitting, right? For you to actually know if something is good or not, you need to see if that person came from nothing. You need to check a lot of boxes, and it's really really hard. And you need to be able to apply to your real life. But like books on like communication, for example, I read like one of the books that changed my life was How to Win Friends and Influence People. That book is amazing because it's general advice in communication, right? It's not like, oh, how to live your life, how to be happy. Also, there is a contradiction. When you try to be happy, you don't actually become happy. And yeah, when you try to do something too much, it's like your brain doesn't actually work because you need to let the second part of your brain, the unconscious part, process stuff and make decisions. And when you're thinking too hard about something, you stay stuck, right? You got it. Like, but if you know in the back of your mind you're going to do it, you just do it. It's easy. And another thing I wanted to talk about was my frustration studying probabilities. And before I used to like start studying, and then when I get frustrated, I would get really mad and just stop studying and be like, no, oh my god, I hate this, I'm very bad. I'm very bad at math. It's okay. I've been writing a lot, a lot, like 2, 3 hours, and I've been doing good. And I've been reading this book, Art of Impossible, that talks about flow state, which is a state where you're so concentrated in something, you're completely in the present, and that's where all the neurotransmitters come. And the book says that that is happiness, right? Like that's a like you're completely in the present. That's what everyone does. What everyone loves. That's why people that do sports are so happy because they're playing. They're like focused, and that's such a good state. And frustration is the first step to get into that. Because at first you need to learn, and when you learn, your brain, your conscious brain, is processing a lot of stuff. It's hard. It doesn't like it. It spends a lot of energy, and that's important. And I learned that. And when I get frustrated, I keep going for 30 more minutes. And when I get really tired, I just go for a break, a 1 hour break, and then I get back and study. And it's so much more productive. It feels like when you take the break, I mean, I don't know my phone, maybe talking with someone walking, it feels like your subconscious is like actually understanding it, right? It's very, very helpful. I thought it was a really good practice. Today, like I said, I meditated more than normal and I liked it. I think it was great. I ate today 3,000 calories, which kind of broke my diet. And I've been noticing that I have some I have some triggers, and I have a very big problem with binge eating. But I've been noticing my triggers and noticing how to fix it. And I noticed my binge eating comes from two conflicting desires. One is that I want to look lean, and the other one is that I want to look big, and they keep conflicting, and that makes my decisions hard. Right? That's what creates stress. That's what creates anxiety. Is not knowing what you actually want. When you actually know what you want, it's easy to go through life. It's like if you say, I follow these virtues, then I follow this, it's easy to go through life. And that's what I want to prove in this series. I want to try to live with the virtues and say what goes right and what goes wrong. Something I noticed today is that I'm waiting for my Portuguese citizen card, right? And I need to travel with my dad in 2 weeks. And if he doesn't get here, I won't be able to leave. And that was stressing me out a bit. So I emailed the director of the college, of my college, of Novo VMS, data science, tried to get the card. And I could have said anything, like I could actually said the truth. But for some reason, I just lied. Right? I used to lie a lot when I was a kid. Now I try most not to. I read this, I think it was Sam Harris, that wrote this book, Lying, which is a really good essay. But for some reason, I lied. And I only noticed like 10 minutes later. Like I had no mindfulness in the moment. And when I did it, I was like, I feel bad, right? Like I've been noticing that when you act good with other people, you feel good. And my theory is that evolutionary psychology, for most people at least, of course I cannot generalize, made us moral. So it's good for us to be moral, and it's good for us to be good with humans. We feel better when you're good with humans. First, because we escape our own thoughts, and we can put like. And second, because it develops flow, and third, because we just do feel good. We're made for that. Because someone that cooperates has a bigger chance of surviving, right? And I think people ignore the soft skills of life. I may be wrong. I may like fail completely and never be successful. But like I've been training my soft skills a lot: communication, friendships, networking, and my hard skills not so much, right? because I'm not really a big fan of programming and math, and this doesn't really feel like play to me. But like recording videos like this feels like play to me. Like if I could give advice to people and help them and grow from that and actually explain, I'll be actually happy. I don't really care if I have the money, no money. I don't really want to work for anyone. I would feel really bad. And reading and explaining concepts about reading is pretty cool. And yeah, frustration helped me learn a lot. It was really, really nice. Mm. Let me think if I have anything more to talk about. Well, I went to the gym today, but it was a really great workout. And I've been thinking of applying more gym stuff to real life. Because like I love the gym, and I feel like the more I get to mastery, the more I get general concepts that I can actually apply to real life. It's like the more like it's like the fucking standard. This is going to be the wallpaper of the fucking video. You know the fucking standard deviation thing. And in one side is people that really really simplify stuff. In the top, they really overcomplicate stuff. And in the ends, it's the guy that actually oversimplifies stuff. I feel like when you become a master in any field, you learn some stuff that is like simplification that you can apply to every field. And you just feel something for the field. Like it's like you learn something about life by becoming a master and just by practice. Like the gym helped me so much. First of all, I learned that like just being really simple and not try to overcomplicate stuff is the best way to go through stuff. Second, I noticed that trying too hard is not the best way. Third, I noticed that when I like stuff, I really like it. Like you don't need to force stuff. Like maybe people that force stuff are really successful, like Elon Musk. But I feel like Elon Musk has a actual passion for innovation, and I love what he does. He may be an asshole, but I actually love it. Like he keeps reinvesting into his own business and he keeps innovating more. And if you feel like you're playing and you're actually doing something that looks like work, that's never again. Come on, you're actually like going to have such a big advantage. Let me check if this is working. Yes, let's go. Let's go. And so I've been thinking about this app, right? What if we make an app that it makes learning feels like play and it actually teaches concepts in a fun way, not like colleges do, because colleges are bullshit. They're fucking bullshit. They make you keep like it applies the flow science to learning, not only concepts but like how to live life. Because maybe if you gamify the wisdom concepts and like life concepts, you can teach them to people that don't have good education or don't have good parents, and then maybe help a lot of people, right? But the thing is, I don't really know how to code an app like that. My uncle, he's a neuroscientist and has this game like that. He improves cognitive thinking for old people. So I think it is possible, and I know it's possible, but it's just an idea for now. I really want to work for myself. I really want to open a startup. Not about the money. It's more about me. Really, like I feel like okay, if you put wires in your brain and it just give you pleasure, everyone will get tired of it. Or if I give you meaning, everyone will get tired of it. What we want is actually like dopamine comes before a fucking storm. We like to face the storm. We like to be in the moment, like almost surviving, like facing a huge challenge that comes like just a bit above our level for us to get over it. That's our life. It's facing a big ass challenge and override. And maybe it's just me or maybe my type of brain, but that's always what I like. Like I never really be good at stuff, but I like struggling. Like struggling is so fun. Like trying so hard, you know, and trying the most and to get strategies to figure it out. And when you do it, it's good. But the best part in the process is when you're actually struggling there in the fucking storm and it's something you like and you get into state of flow. It's so nice. For me, doing presentations in public is also been something that I really, really like ever since I was a kid. I remember when I was like 6 or 7, I would give presentations and I would be so happy when people clapping. Like it was so fun to like teach people stuff in a fun way. I don't understand why teachers in college cannot teach in a fun way. Maybe I'm just young and like I don't know, but like why you cannot teach stuff? Like if you're studying a subject for your own life, at least make it fun, at least make it simple, at least try to teach other people, you know? Yeah, yeah. Also been noticing that people are really sad, like all the time, like, and I think it's a lack of gratitude. Like I used to be very sad too, but like towards the life, like just seeing like oh, even if you don't have anything, you have your arms, at least you're here, like, and you don't contemplate death that often, but like you're going to die, and you're like a blink in the universe, and every year you get less years, and your life start getting like start getting faster and faster towards death, right? And curiosity and is about seeing stuff for the first time, knowing you're going to die, and enjoying stuff. If you keep seeing the same stuff, your brain is just going to decay and die. That's why old people get so depressed, and because they're always doing the same stuff. They never innovate. They never learn stuff. And I think a lot of that comes from gratitude. I've been trying to practice gratitude, like 3 things I'm grateful for in the morning. It's been helping me with my mood a lot. And it's crazy because there's research that shows that happiness causes success. So more happy people have more energy. They do stuff that they actually like. They don't really get judged by others. They know what they want, so they have more success. It's like it sounds so easy, right? But it's not that easy. But yeah, guys, I went into 30,000 different rants today, and tomorrow I want to talk more about records and values, and I want to talk about a bunch of books I'm reading. And that's it. Thank you guys for hearing, and you guys have a great day.